Alright, Kanguros, sorry I'm not here. At this point I'm on my way to Arizona. So you should have turned in your performance task. I should have collected 3.1a. You should have done an extensive warm-up, and there should be no questions on it. If so, make sure you understand how to do it because it's going to be important for today's lesson. So the lesson 3.1b, you guys are going to need one of these, except yours is made of wood and not as old and used as this one. So please have a ruler ready for your lesson. If you need to press pause to get it, do so now. This entire first problem is going to go so quickly. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have the teacher press pause, and I want you guys to do everything except for part F. I want you to do A through E right now. Press pause and then come back and make sure that you understand how to go ahead and follow all these steps. You've done all this before, it's easy. Then the magic of video. I did all this, and you guys should have the same thing. So hopefully you plotted these 2 points right here and right here, which are these two ordered pairs. You got a slope of 10 and 15, that's what I wrote here, which simplifies to 2/3. Then you verified it using these ordered pairs, and you got the same slope. Examining your graph, what is the y-intercept? That's that guy right there, which is -1. Remember, we call that letter B, by the way. -1 is our y-intercept. It says, starting at the y-intercept, use the rise and run to plot a third point on the line. So I did it more than once. I did it here, and I did it here. And remember, instead of going up and right, couldn't we have also gone down and left and still been on the same line? And I can repeat that. Down 2 and left 3, because remember, -2 and -3 is really the same as positive 2/3. And there's our stair step, and there's our line. And what's the equation of a line? Well, there is the slope, there is the y-intercept, y equals 2/3 x minus 1. So the next question is explain in words how the slope-intercept form is used to graph the line. And I don't want you to do that until you actually go ahead and read the directions right here. Read these directions right here and see if you can figure out the answer by yourself. Press pause and wait a second. Wow, the words to use to explain are right here. All this is how to plot, to use a slope-intercept form to graph a line. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. You know that. So guys, the y-intercept is the b, and the slope is the m. You actually just put that point there first, and then you use that to plot more points. And a way that I'm going to help you remember this is that the b is where you begin your graph, and the slope, the rise and run, is how you move to get more points. Check it out. What is this equation right here in this form? Do they look the same? They certainly do, right? Y equals 4x minus 3. So clearly the slope of this line is this number 4, which you know can be written as 4/1, so we can have a rise and run. And the number being subtracted here, -3, is the y-intercept, -3. That's the number here and right here. So there's some missing information, so stay tuned for that. So guys, here's how you do it. It's super easy. Remember, this is B. Begin. Put your dot right there at -3. 1, 2, 3. Done. That's where your graph is going to begin from, your y-intercept. And then I want you to move with your rise and your run. Go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And go to the right one and put another point there. Rise 4. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And by the way, you know that this should be going uphill because this is a very steep positive number, so it should be going up very steeply, which it is. And then continue, maybe one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. We're out of room. So I could connect these and be done, but let's actually recognize that we could actually go down 4 and left 1 and still be on the same line. So now you use your nice straight edge. Connect all these points on the graph, indicating that it goes on forever with arrows, and now you have graphed starting here at -3 and rising and running 4/1. X-intercept is a little tricky. I put this really close. It looks like it's almost at 1, but not quite. It's somewhere between 0 and 1, but you can't guess. And you actually were supposed to do this for last night's homework. The way you get the x-intercept is you find out what ordered pair this is, and you already know half of it. The x-intercept is always going to be an ordered pair, where if it's on the x-axis, your y value is going to be 0. And what you're looking for is what x value this is. Somewhere between 0 and 1, but you can't guess. Well, if you know that y is 0, guess what you do? You take that value for y, and you plug it in and find out what x is. So here we go, x-intercept. Take the y value that you know is 0, plug it into the original equation, and now you have an equation that you can just simply solve for x. 3 equals 4x, divide by 4, and x equals, hey, have a guess. That number right there is 3/4 between 0 and 1. So we couldn't have guessed that without actually solving the equation. So the x-intercept is a fraction, 3/4. Okay, number 3. Something's wrong with this equation. It doesn't look like this. And hopefully you recognize that you could just literally switch this order. So it's y equals, instead of 9 minus x, how about I write -1x plus 9? Talk amongst yourselves if you don't understand why I chose to put this here and this here. Press pause if you need to. Hopefully you recognize that the slope is -1 over 1 if you like, and the y-intercept is 9. So where do you begin your graph? You begin it at this point right here. Begin at 9, way up here. And then you are going to move your rise and run down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1. I'm going to stop for a second. If I started way up here, and I'm going to go down and right the same amount, if I started at 9, where do you think I'm going to hit the x-axis? Every time I go down, I go right. Well, hopefully it should end up at 9, right? Let's see if the pattern continues. The suspense is killing me. Oh my goodness, it hit the x-axis at the same value, 9. So now, folks, you have all the information you need to answer this question. The x-intercept is the same as the y-intercept. It's out here at 9. It's at 9. What if I didn't recognize that and I wanted to calculate it? Well, what would you do for the x-intercept? By the way, it's 0, 9, 0. You would plug in 0 for y and solve for x. So plug in 0 for this y value right here and solve for x. So just like I did over on this other problem, I can literally do the same thing. But since it's right here and we hit the x-axis right there, we're done. Okay, what's different about these? Well, nothing. They just look a little different. So is y by itself? Is our y isolated? Well, something's different. What's missing? Something should be out here, shouldn't there? You could write this if you wanted. Well, doesn't this really tell us that y equals mx plus b? Tell us all the information we need, that b, our y-intercept, is 0. And then this slope of -3/4, did you notice how I slightly changed the way I wrote it? And the reason I want to emphasize this is because this number is negative, means that this slope, this better be going downhill. So where do you begin this graph? Well, in this case, you begin at the origin. The y-intercept is the origin. Oh, guess what? So is the x-intercept. Oh, you kind of knew that already because there was nothing being added in this equation. It's a proportional relation. Well, now let's just move. Go down 1, 2, 3 and right 1, 2, 3, 4, put a dot. Repeat. Down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, 3, 4, put a dot. And do the same in the opposite. Instead of down and right, go up and left, up and left, and it should follow the pattern and make a nice linear relation. Okay, number 5 is not looking like that at all. So you press pause for us here while you guys go ahead and isolate y here. When you come back and turn it on, you're going to have all this information filled out. Press pause if you need to see how it works. So do that now, please. Well, here you are. You've isolated y. I did. I subtracted 3x, and then divided, you know, I would yell at you if I was there, divide everything by 2. So your slope is negative 3 over 2, and your y-intercept is 3, and that's right here. Where do you begin the graph? Up here at 3, and then you go down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2, and repeat it. Or instead of down and right, you go up and left. Now, where did it hit the x-axis? Well, it looks to me like it hit it right there at 2, but I actually confirmed it by plugging in 0 for y into the equation and solving for x, and we got the same value. So press pause if you need to see this. Sorry about this. This says 6, and so does this. So I showed the work here to calculate the x-intercept. By the way, you could have plugged in 0 for y right here, too. So watch how easy this is. If I plug in 0 for y, 3x plus nothing is 6. What must x equal? Bang, 2. Okay, I labeled these two strange ones, number 7 and number 6, and I guarantee you're going to see these on a quiz or test in your near future. So, let's see why they're strange. Well, let's go ahead and isolate y here, but you notice that you have x's on both sides, so let's get rid of those and see. Oh, 2y equals 8. What happened to the x's? The x's are gone. All I'm left with, when I simplify this, is y equals 4. Interesting. Well, what does that mean? Remember y equals mx plus b. You got that burned into your memory. But if there is no x, there's no number multiplying x that would be there except the number that would get it to go away. And of course, hopefully, when the x's are gone, that means you recognize that the slope is 0. The only thing times x that would make it disappear is 0. The slope is 0. You guys remember the slope of 0 is a horizontal line, like that. Well, what does that mean the 4 must be? Well, doesn't it must mean that it's this number here, which is your y-intercept of 4? So how do you graph that? Well, still begin here at 4, and guess what you draw? A horizontal line. That's a piece of cake. But wait, what's the x-intercept? It doesn't hit the axis. There is none. Doesn't exist. Since I'm running short on time, I showed that I'm about to fraction bust this. So multiply everything by 2, including the 3 there, gotta be. 2y, and that gives us this equation. So what I'd like you to do then is take it from there, press pause, and take it from there. And what you will end up with when you're done is you're going to end up with x equals 1, hopefully. The y's would cancel, and then when you solve that equation, you get x equals 1. So the y's are gone. Well, guys, what this means very simply is it's the complete opposite of that. If the x's are gone, it's horizontal. The y's are gone, it's vertical. But what is the slope of a vertical? Undefined. You know it's a vertical line. The slope is undefined, but where is that line that's vertical going to be located? It's going to be right there. Draw a line at that x value that's vertical. The slope is undefined. It doesn't have a y-intercept, and the x-intercept is right where you see it, at 1. Just in time. Good luck, guys. Rewatch if you have to. See you next week.